Hey friends, it's Corey from Hey Let's Make Stuff. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about this vacuum heat press. Now, I've had several viewers ask me to review this heat press, so I went ahead and got it. And in today's video, we're going to go through basically what it is, how it works, and why I don't like it. I really wish it worked better because at this size, it basically would replace a small handheld press, a mug press, a tumbler press, a sublimation oven. I mean, there is a lot happening inside this little box that if it worked, it would be awesome. The problem is I was not able to get it to work. So automatically don't buy this, but you can watch ahead if you would like to hear me complain for a little bit. So when I got this press, most everything that comes with it, which is a lot, it's like a little clown car, was inside, but these two pieces didn't fit inside. So I have sort of a handheld press base as well as a mat. And then when I open it up, I have some projects back here, but when I open it up, you'll see the first thing that I don't like. This thing gets really hot, 400 degrees, right? So when I press this button, you're gonna see that it jumps around on my table a little bit, and that is scary. I don't need a 400-degree machine bouncing around. So there are a lot of pieces in here, and in the instructions, they are not labeled very well. It's sort of bad English instructions. So it took me a long time to figure out what everything does. So I'm just gonna kind of go through it really quickly. So this is sort of the base tray if you want to press something flat like a plate in the vacuum press. It goes along with this piece that I've already have installed up here in the top. And basically you suck the air out of this and it creates a vacuum, which creates the pressure that you need for sublimation. Then we also have a pair of heat-resistant gloves. We have a couple of tubes which work with the vacuum system, one of which is still plugged in there. So we have these tubes that work with the vacuum system. We have a couple of silicone tumbler pieces. So you can put a 40-ounce tumbler in here. You can put a 20-ounce tumbler in here. You'll connect these with the tubes to the vacuum portion of this machine. It will suck out all of the air and again, create that pressure. There's also a seal that can go on this top piece. This was impossible to install. I yelled at it for a long time. We have some silicone mug wraps, which I hated before I even got this machine. And then we have this piece. To be perfectly honest, I don't know what this piece is for. I don't think it's even in the instructions, but you know, it's there for funsies. And then we have a tray. Very hard to get out. There we go. We have a little metal tray. And then, let's see here. Let me reorganize all of this stuff. Oh my gosh. And then in the bottom, there's these two little flappy handles, and you pull out an easy press. Hello, little easy press. So basically this machine should be able to do a lot of different projects. The problem is it's a jack of all trades and it's basically a master of none. So right away I found it incredibly overwhelming. I mean, all of these pieces and instructions that were very confusing. So I have the instructions over here and I just want to read to you. So this is like, I would call this a silicone tumbler wrap, maybe? No. The instructions call it, let's see here, the silicone mug clamp of aluminum pot. So that generally tells you where we are with these instructions. They are not very clear and not very helpful. But I was determined to see if I could make it work because even though it is a lot of pieces and the instructions are confusing, if it could do what it says it could do, this could be a really great machine for hobby crafters. Imagine not having to have a mug press, a tumbler press, a handheld press, and a sublimation oven. This would be all in one. Awesome. So the first press we have in the clown car of presses is this easy press here. So it's basically a handheld press. We talk about it in our other classes. And this has just one countdown button on the front. You actually set the time and temperature on the top of the machine. At first I was really confused. I finally was able to kind of work out the logic behind what they have going on here. But you know, overall, this is where you set your time and temperature, but this is where you start your countdown. I was able to make a cute little onesie with it. So it did actually work. It got hot enough to do sublimation, but here's the weird thing. It plugs in inside of the machine and there's no way to unplug it. So if you want to move this to somewhere else in your craft room, you have to take this piece along with you. Kind of annoying. It also has these weird little flappies on the side. This allows you to get it out of this box. But again, very strange. I guess you can put them in these little holes. Look at that, I just discovered that. So I guess it's not so bad. But yeah, it's just very strange, right? And then this plate here when in here, becomes the bottom heating element of this whole system. So there's a top heating element in the lid, and then this becomes the bottom heating element. And it is very difficult to get it back into this box. So I'm going to kind of put all of the cord in, and then, I don't know if you can see in the overhead here, there is this little fan, and it's on like the tiniest little metal, like a rod here, and I am terrified of breaking it. So we're just going to sort of turn this and slide it under the fan, making sure our flappies are up so we can get it out. And then you kind of have to fuss with the cord and get it under there. And at some point, if you do it right, you can get it to sort of sit in there. Does it sit in there nicely? Absolutely not. No. Oh my gosh, guys. I told you it was not easy to get this in here. What else is happening? Oh, I've got cord over here, I see. I do not know how I haven't broken this tiny fan yet. Let's see. I need to stand up. All right, we gotta get all the cord underneath or else this won't work. Get it like that. Come on, cord. There we go. There we go. All right, so that sits in there. You can see that it's actually nice in there now. This is why you need those little flappies so that you can pull it out. But this becomes that bottom heating element in the whole press. So that handheld press was the only one where I got good results. But let's run through what the machine can do just so you can see the idea of what this machine should do, and maybe in the future we'll get like a better option. But this is gonna be really quick because honestly I got terrible results. So the first thing is the flat press. So this is basically a vacuum press. It has a silicone base here. Mine had a stain on it, so I'm pretty sure this was used and marketed as a new thing. And then it has a silicone piece at the top. And basically we're going to pull all of the air out between these two pieces with our project inside of it, and that's going to create the pressure that you need for sublimation. So we're going to use this little hose here. We're going to plug it in to the bottom underneath. Let's see if I can do this. Not particularly easy, but you can get it. And then this goes inside the back of the machine here. Plug that in, and then this just sets in here. And then you're going to set your project with your image tape to it in here. It's gonna create that vacuum seal. I'm not gonna make a project in it because I have already ruined too many blanks, but I do want you to hear how it sounds. So first of all, when this tray is in here, it is very hard to close. Let's see, there we go. And then I'm going to go plug it in and turn on the vacuum so that you can hear just how bad it sounds. All right, I plugged it in, so if I hit start, this will start to like warm it up. And you can hear, I don't know if you can hear it on the video, but that chime is like ear piercing. So it has like a soft hum, which would not bother me very much. It's kind of like any other heat press. But when you turn that vacuum on, it becomes very annoying. And these are long vacuum press times, 600 seconds of this. And I mean, right away I was like, oh, I don't know if I could listen to this all day if I was making projects. It's just really loud and very, very annoying. Okay, I unplugged it and turned it off. And let me show you the results that I got. So I started with the recommended time and temperature for a ornament, and I got this. Not good. You can't even tell what it is. I doubled the time and increased the temperature, and I got like the lightest, blurriest Santa you've ever seen. Then I sort of maxed out the time and temperature, and I still didn't get a good result. This is a very, very blurry image. I don't know if you can see this in the overhead here. It really does not look anything like the image I put on there. And honestly, guys, I was like, I'm not gonna waste any more blanks on this. I already feel like I waste so much doing this job that I just was already so unhappy with it that I was like, I'm not gonna waste more blanks trying to get it right. And then we have mugs and tumblers, and those are kind of done in two different ways. So the mugs are done basically with a mug wrap, like a silicone mug wrap. These are just 11-ounce mug wraps. However, I do think you could probably use shrink wrap in here. I didn't test it because I didn't want to waste any more blanks, but you might be able to use shrink wrap. It comes with 2 of these, so you could do 2 mugs at a time. I didn't even test these though. I do not like silicone mug wraps anyway, so I was like, I'm not gonna waste my precious mugs on this. Plus they're 11-ounce mugs, and I want to be making 15-ounce mugs because I don't like a wimpy cup of coffee, so I didn't even test these out. But I did test out the tumblers. So basically for the tumblers, you'll pull out, let me see, again, 400 degrees, very hot. So I'll pull this little tube out here, for the tumblers, so you have the big 40-ounce tumbler and then this 20-ounce tumbler. We have these silicone things, and basically this is doing the same job of creating a vacuum by attaching this hose to this pipe, right? And the top of the 20-ounce tumbler is glass, which I hate. Like, why? This one, it has silicone covered metal. Great. Glass, I don't love it. But anyway, you slide your tumbler in here with your image taped around it, and then you attach the hose and you put it in there and you set it for the time and temperature. And you know, this wasn't very difficult to use, and that was kind of nice, but I'm just not thrilled with the results. So the center of my tumbler here actually looks really good. I was like, pulled it apart and I was like, oh, it actually worked really well. And then I started looking at the top and the bottom. So I'm gonna put this in the overhead here. This up here should be pink. It should be the same color as this. And it just did not get enough pressure, even though I had it taped really well, did not get enough pressure at the top or the bottom. So you can see here, it's very faded all the way around. I just did not get that pressure inside this silicone thing to actually sublimate this really well. So as you can see, jack of all trades, master of maybe handheld heat pressing, and that's it. So I definitely don't recommend this. However, I do feel like we might start to see more things like this, and I like this idea a lot. So I know that PYD Life and Craft Express are both coming out with vacuum heat presses that I believe go inside of their ovens. So that might be something to keep an eye on. Those are both much more well-known companies that have produced good products in the past. This was from a bunch of letter company on Amazon, clearly just made overseas really quickly, not a lot of testing. There aren't even a lot of reviews on it. And so I feel like if we're dealing with companies that we know have made really good products in the past, we can trust them with our products going forward. So it's something to be aware of, but definitely this one should be on your do not buy list because it just really didn't work very well at all. If you have any questions about this heat press, I would be happy to answer those down in the comments. If you found this video helpful in not making a buying decision, please give it a like. Follow my channel for more heat press content. I'll see you next time.